Hello everyone, this is Kieran from Gizmochina. Last video we've compared OnePlus 8 Pro's camera with the Huawei P40 Pros. This time let's go through the gaming test part of the OnePlus 8 Pro. And we bring the iQOO Neo 3 as its rival. The latest iQOO Neo 3 is a really cost-effective gaming phone. Even if you take the highest version, it only costs you around $480 USD. Compared to the OnePlus 8 Pro's price tag starting at $899 USD. I think if there is a reasonable performance gap as a gamer, you probably know the reason why I picked the Neo 3 as the OnePlus 8 Pro's rival. Or, if you still have no idea about the reason, let's just finish this review and find out what's the difference between their gaming experience. Let's start with their display. For OnePlus 8 Pro, the 6.78-inch display is awesome, as we have introduced in the last video. This customized Samsung Super AMOLED display features up to 120Hz refresh rate, plus over 2K resolution, which is already better than most smartphone displays. In addition, OnePlus continues its excellent tuning on the display quality, including the high color accuracy under different color modes. The test result of Delta E is even lower than 1 under the standard mode, which is definitely one of the best smartphone displays. Not just having top color preference, it's also able to reach a wonderful brightness under strong sunlight. OnePlus also developed a video frame interpolation technology for playing videos in specific apps and included players, which used to be applied on some high-end TV sets, for output smoother video, adapting to higher refresh rate display. Well, for iQOO Neo 3, the 6.57-inch display amazingly supports up to 144Hz refresh rate. In the last few weeks, we really saw how this useful 144Hz display of Red Magic 5G is for improving gaming experience and system fluency. And this time, the iQOO even brought us a cheaper model with the same quality display. But compared to the OnePlus 8 Pro, the display gap between 120Hz and 144Hz is probably not easy to perceive. Meanwhile, it's important to note that it's LCD 1080p display which forces the model to use a side fingerprint reader. Although it responds fast enough, the in-screen fingerprint reader of the OnePlus 8 Pro has a more comfortable user experience, besides being fast respond. As for the display colors, although it's not as accurate as the OnePlus 8 Pro, the standard mode Delta E also doesn't get a bad result at 1.9, and when we switch to the default mode, the number rises to 3.8. Related to the gaming experience, there is no doubt that the OnePlus should have a better visual delight. By the way, you don't have to worry about the occupied area of the hole punched front camera on these two models. And the display for the Neo 3 lacks oleophobic coating on the front face, which means that it could become a fingerprint collector if you remove the screen protector. About the problem of display smearing, thanks to the higher refresh rate, it's not obvious on these two models. Checking by eyes, the OnePlus 8 Pro did a better job here. In addition to visual delight, gamers should also concern their auditory delight when gaming. Both phones equip dual speakers for creating stereo audio, but here we would like to give credit to the OnePlus 8 Pro. It sounds much better no matter for music or gaming. But the Neo 3 has a 3.5mm earphone jack, so if you are going to take the Neo 3, make sure you use your headphones to have better sounds. Before we move to the actual game test, let's run some typical benchmark apps. In 3D Mark, the iQOO Neo 3 take the lead and the result is closer to Red Magic 5G that we've tested before. And 7207 point for the OnePlus 8 Pro was good enough as a Snapdragon 865 model, and the results in Geekbench 5 were similar to what we got in 3D Mark. The iQOO models still take the lead in both single-core and multi-core tests, but there's still a small gap between them. In Antutu benchmark, the overall score of the Neo 3 is a bit higher than the OnePlus 8 Pro, but the GPU test tells us there should be a very small gap in their gaming performance. But are they really closer when we actually play games? Of course not. In actual gaming, we have to know the better display quality of the OnePlus 8 Pro could provide better image quality, including better resolution and better colors. So after we played a lot of games, we found that it's really an enjoyment to play on the OnePlus 8 Pro. Accordingly, we really did not expect too much that the OnePlus 8 Pro could beat the Neo 3 in the aspect of gaming frame rate, as it generally provides higher resolution. But talk about Android games supporting high frame rates like 120 FPS or higher, all I can tell you is that there are a few popular games that allow you to fully use the display no matter on the OnePlus 8 Pro or the iQOO Neo 3. Maybe you've seen a list of 120 FPS Android games on the internet. Then I have to say the list was not true for Android phones according to our tests. The games were only able to run high frame rate on iPad. At least we've tested so many games on the list, but none of them support over 60 FPS when playing on these two models. So the OnePlus Pro with Snapdragon 865 handled those games without any problem and was able to stably maintain 60 FPS frame rate. On the other hand, the iQOO Neo 3 sometimes were able to have up to 90 FPS frame rate in certain games. For example, this is the test for Shadowgun Legends. The Neo 3 could peak at 90 FPS over a short period, but suddenly fell down to 60 FPS level. It seems that the iQOO Neo 3 system would allocate the CPU resources according to the phone temperature automatically, but as we check the CPU temperature and the hand perceived heat, it's really not serious for the phone to take that action that could affect the excellent gaming experience. And then we turn to the PUBG Mobile China version, which is able to unlock the frame rate to 120 FPS through a third tool. If you guys want to try the experience of 120 FPS PUBG Mobile, here's the way. The game now is not available on the Google Play, so you can download the game called Game for Peace in Tap App Store and log into the game, which requires your Wechat or QQ account, and then follow the steps below the video. Back to our test, we applied the highest graphics settings, including HDR quality and 120 FPS mode on these two models. In the 30-minute gaming test, the iQOO Neo 3 still got the problem of frame rate reduction. The strategy used by the Neo 3 is likely to maintain a stable frame rate over a period while control the temperature well at the same time. So overall, although it could peak at 120 FPS, the average frame rate for the Neo 3 only remained at 93.2 FPS. For the OnePlus 8 Pro, the result is much more beautiful. Though it fluctuated a lot when having combat in the game, the average frame rate is still at 104.9 FPS. And for the OnePlus 8 Pro, there are two more Chinese games supporting 120 FPS. One is called Garena Speed Drifters, and one is Ace Force. Now, neither of them is available on Google Play. For Garena Speed Drifters, the 8 Pro averagely run at 116 FPS frame rate. Well, the game did not support high frame rate for the Neo 3, so it only ran at about 57 FPS. The FPS game Ace Force is very similar to the PC game Overwatch, which could run at 109.8 FPS on the OnePlus 8 Pro, but only run at 58.95 FPS on the Neo 3 due to the frame rate limitation. And in the end, we did the stress test with the Nimian Legend. The Neo 3 was able to peak at 144 FPS frame rate under simple scenarios and averagely ran up at 65.7 FPS, while the OnePlus 8 Pro met the frame limitation again and just at 60 FPS maximum frame rate, but average frame rate was not bad, which is 57.7 FPS. So there are still a lot of problems to pursue higher frame rate gaming experience on Android phones. No matter the 144Hz on the Neo 3 or the 120Hz on the OnePlus 8 Pro could not fully release their power of the excellent displays and the SoCs. It seems that game developers and phone manufacturers haven't come to an agreement to provide the best mobile gaming experience for users. Although the OnePlus model basically achieved a better performance in certain cooperated games which were customized to apply higher frame rates for the OnePlus 8 Pro, most of them were not available for the global users. And heated problem of the OnePlus 8 Pro is also a negative factor affecting the gaming experience. As for the iQOO Neo 3, the problem is more complicated. It automatically cut down the performance sometimes to solve the overheated problem, and indeed the Neo 3 generally was not overheated. But at the same time, we also lost a part of the gaming performance. In daily use, battery life and charging efficiency is also important in our gaming review. Compared to most smartphones, the OnePlus 8 Pro generally consumed more power when the display was switched to the high resolution and highest refresh rate mode. In our 1-hour PUBG Mobile test, the OnePlus 8 Pro with highest display options consumed 23% of power, while the iQOO Neo 3 consumed around 20% under the 144Hz mode. These two models both equipped a 4500 mAh battery. In our 100% charging test, the OnePlus 8 Pro costed 71 minutes to get it done with a 50-watt charger, and it only took 62 minutes for the Neo 3 to finish the test. In addition to the test we did, in daily use, the OnePlus 8 Pro did bring me a feeling of battery anxiety, as the premium display really consumed lots of power. So that's it. There's no doubt that the OnePlus 8 Pro has better gaming graphics and more stable performance. However, it doesn't mean that the iQOO Neo 3 totally lost the competition. On the contrary, the Neo 3 achieved better cooling effect. More importantly, the iQOO Neo 3 is much cheaper. Just imagine you're able to pay half the price of the OnePlus 8 Pro to reach the gaming experience as we mentioned. So if you have something to say about these two models, please leave it below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you like our videos. This is Kieran from Gizmochina. We'll see you soon.